Welcome to the Sonder Project's Discover the Impact virtual event. We are getting things started a little early for you punctual ones to give you a little entertainment while you wait. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Chad Zibelman. I am the CEO of the Sonder Project, and I'll be your host tonight. While we allow some times for folks to arrive, we wanted to start things off with a little musical intro. So I'm happy to introduce you Aruna Diara. Aruna is a musician originally from Burkina Faso, West Africa, one of our partner countries. He now resides in Phoenix, Arizona, and has performed all over this country and around the world, playing numerous instruments, including the Ngoni, also known as the African harp, which he builds himself right here in the United States. Aruna has recorded some songs especially for us tonight, and this first song will be accompanied by some pictures from our community. So thank you for being here. Make yourself comfortable. Grab yourself a drink if you like, and enjoy this performance by Aruna as we wait for others to arrive.
Hi everyone. How are you doing here tonight? I hope you are doing wonderful. Thank you for joining us tonight. My name is Aruna Diara from Burkina Faso, West Africa. I've been in the US 9 years, living in Arizona, but still Burkina is remain close to my heart. I'm so excited to share some love of the music from my home country to support the Sonder Project tonight. So the instrument I'm going to play is they are very unique, and this one is called the kora. Kora have 7 notes. It's like the white and the black, the white note and the black note and the piano, the same note. So the first song I'm going to play tonight is called Kaira, and Kaira means peace. Thank you.
Welcome, welcome. Wow, thank you again, Aruna, for that angelic performance. And I have to shout out Tara Rice, the wonderful photographer who took many of those pictures from our communities. That was certainly a great way to start the night. And if you just caught the end of Aruna's performance, don't worry. We will have one more performance by Aruna before the event is over. Welcome everyone to our Discover the Impact virtual event and evening with the Sonder Project. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Chad Zibelman. I am the CEO of the Sonder Project and I will be your host tonight. Please make yourself comfortable if your situation allows. Most importantly, thank you for taking the time to be with us and help us celebrate the Sonder Project's work over the past 6 years, our work to empower impoverished communities through high impact sustainable development. Tonight we'll be revealing also the winners of our Discover the Impact giveaway prizes, including a YOLO inflatable paddleboard and a 3-night stay for 2 to Rosemary Beach hosted by 360 Blue. Not to mention a handcrafted coffee and end table crafted by our good friend Kurt Freudenreich. So there's so much to look forward to, and we are really grateful for your presence. To get things started, I want to begin with a quick poll to see where people are logging in from. So please, let's bring that poll up. Please take a moment to let us know where it is that you're calling in from. My guess is that we will have, I'll put my money on Florida. That's why, or that's where our headquarters is in Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. So it's why it gets its own category, but I could be surprised. I myself am operating out of my home in Sonoma County, California. So I am hoping for a little California love as well. I travel to the beautiful 38 area on a regular basis to meet with our board and founders, as well as so many of our, or so much of our incredible base of support. As much as we are an organization with local 30A roots, our mission brings people in from all across the country. And so let us see who we have here tonight. If we could take down that question and bring up the results. Florida wins 38%. Nice to see some 29% though from out west, and wherever you're calling from, we are so glad to have you. We appreciate you being here. Now, tonight is all about discovering our impact, and that means learning what it is exactly that we do, why we do it, and how it impacts the people we serve. And to start things off, we thought it would be best to share a bit about our founding. Now, many people came to know the Sonder Project following Hurricane Michael in October of 2018, a devastating storm that impacted the Florida Panhandle. With our organization based in Santa Rosa Beach and the damage we saw directly to the east, primarily in Bay County, Florida, we mobilized our resources and volunteers, and we helped our neighbors, particularly in and around Panama City, Florida. At that time, we were not a hurricane recovery organization, and in fact, we still are not today. But Hurricane Michael hit too close to home, and considering a key piece to how the Sonder Project got its start, which was simply to do the most good, to have the greatest amount of impact, we knew we needed to respond, and we were able to get a lot of people, we were able to provide a lot of support to a lot of people, thanks to so many of you. To this day, we remain proud of that decision, but we ultimately ended those efforts in August of 2020 so we could refocus on our primary mission, to empower impoverished communities through high impact sustainable development. And that means working where the need is greatest, where we can make the greatest impact, and where the cost is less, so we can have the most efficient impact. To help better understand why we were originally founded and why we focus our efforts on sub-Saharan Africa, I'd like to introduce one of our co-founders. The Sonder Project was founded by 3 people, Jason and Jeremy Sprinkle, and their friend and business partner, Ashley Horsley, all of whom remain active participants on the Sonder Project Board of Directors. Tonight, Ashley will be representing this all-star team and providing background for the Sonder Project's birth. Ashley, originally from Nashville, Tennessee, is the CEO of 360 Blue in Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. 360 Blue represents the largest collection of luxury vacation rental homes on the Emerald Coast of Florida, including Destin and the communities of 30A. Outside of providing unforgettably meaningful vacations, 360 Blue remains committed to giving back and paying it forward, including their commitment to covering all of the administrative expenses of the Sonder Project, as well as offering a voluntary program for their employees to donate 1% of their salaries directly to the Sonder Project. Over the past 6 years, 360 Blue employees alone have contributed over $80,000 directly to the Sonder Project. 360 Blue is an organization that cares, and that is absolutely a trait that starts at the top. I welcome to the event Ashley Horsley.
Hi, thank you everyone, and thank you for that amazing introduction, Chad. It is a real pleasure to be here tonight, and I appreciate everyone taking time out of their very busy schedules this evening to be with us. Chad asked me to speak about how the Sonder Project got its start back in 2014. So as he mentioned, as a business owner in Florida, it was important to me and my two business partners that he referenced, Jeremy and Jason, that we were doing our part to give back not only as individuals, but as an organization, and wrapping that mission into our culture, our company culture, as a core value. So at first, we saw other organizations that we could donate to, and we ended up creating a community committee that focused on local efforts and nonprofit partnerships. But as we grew as a company, we had the means to do more, and we found ourselves motivated by the idea of doing the most good that we could do and having the greatest impact possible and affecting the most amount of lives possible, like Chad said. Drawn to this high impact philanthropy approach, we actually ended up reading a whole lot of different books and reading a whole lot of different papers, listened to tons of TED Talks, and we found ourselves focused on and drawn to the developing world, specifically sub-Saharan Africa, where over 50% of the world's extreme poor currently live. This is where the need is the greatest, and this is where the dollar amount can make the greatest impact. So this is actually where we ended up starting our efforts. We started off by seeking out organizations that were successfully working in the area we wanted to work, which was sub-Saharan Africa. And we're particularly drawn to the impact of education after reading all of those books and listening to all those TED Talks. So we partnered with a company called Build On, which is a nonprofit that builds school buildings. And we started our work in Burkina Faso building schools through that partnership. In 2015, my business partner, Jason, and I helped lay the bricks and build the foundation for one of the schools that we built through Build On in a Burkina Faso village called Rore. And that experience left us moved and extremely motivated to continue this pursuit. What we learned over the coming years is that while a school building is vital and super impactful to a village and community, meeting some of the other basic needs in these communities was also super vital. We realized through our process of doing this that kids were dropping out of school after short periods of time because they didn't have access to clean water, or they weren't even showing up to school because they were undernourished, or they were spending their time where they otherwise might be in school, walking miles and miles in some instances just to collect drinking water for their families. And that, again, impacted their ability to go to school and get an education, which was our ultimate objective. So we wanted an organization that was going to allow us to know exactly where the funds were going so we could be flexible to respond to the needs. And then we wanted to be able to identify more needs as we went along our path. We were learning as we went, we're still learning as we go, but ultimately knew that what we wanted to do was do the most good possible. So here we are nearly 6 years later, and I'm extremely proud of what we've been able to accomplish together since that first day of brainstorming around a whiteboard in a conference room surrounded by books about high impact philanthropy. To highlight some of the work that we've done through the work and donations and the love of our donors and supporters, our friends over at 2030 North put together a short video that highlights our journey over time. The Sonder Project has just begun as an organization, and now is an incredible time for anyone to get involved. I hope that tonight helps you discover our journey and helps you discover our impact. So thank you again for the opportunity to share this very special part of my heart and my life with you, and thank you for being a part of it tonight. And we look forward to the great things that we can continue to accomplish together. And so from here, I'll let you see our journey over time through the 2030 North video.
Wow, thank you so much for that introduction, Ashley, providing that history, and also huge shout out to 2030 North Studios. We really appreciate that wonderful video, kind of showcasing the timeline of the Sonder Project's work. Um, to be honest, there's a lot we could include in that timeline that wasn't there. I've already discussed our Hurricane Michael initiative, and we've also supported deworming efforts and beekeeping efforts abroad in our past. Locally, we've helped to construct community gardens in the 38 area, and and in Burkina Faso, we've been developing an irrigated community farm project that we're very excited about, not to mention our new student sponsorship program. But much of what I just spoke of is either still in development or no longer part of our activities. So we wanted to highlight there for you where we feel like we've had the greatest impact so far and that we will continue to build from. So let us dig a little deeper to our partner countries and our clean water and education programs. I want to start by focusing on Burkina Faso. As seen in the video, Burkina Faso was the first country we began working in and first established a satellite office. Let's do a little trivia question to see who knows the capital of Burkina Faso. If we could bring that poll question up. And while you're thinking about that, let me tell you a little bit about Burkina Faso. It's a landlocked country in West Africa that was originally colonized by the French until it was granted independence in 1960. Originally called Upper Volta, they changed their name in 1984 to Burkina Faso, which can be translated to mean the land of the incorruptible people. Referred to as Burkinabe, the people of Burkina Faso are close to 60% Muslim with about 30% Christian. More than 2/3 of the population live in rural villages and rely on subsistence farming, which is the communities in which the Sonder Project work. Now let's take that poll question down and see those results. How did people do? What is the capital of Burkina Faso? Very good. Good geography. You guys get an A. Well, I guess we got a D, 65%. Ouagadougou is the correct answer. But for those of you who didn't get the right answer, please continue studying that African geography. Despite Burkina Faso's wealth of culture, including a thriving film scene, Burkina Faso remains a tremendously poor country. The country ranks 182 out of 189 countries on the UN Human Development Index, which rank countries on a variety of factors, including health and education. And according to the World Bank in 2019, it had the 17th lowest GDP per capita in the world. Now, we were drawn to Burkina Faso's rich culture and history and fell in love with the country upon the construction of our first school, as Ashley spoke of in January of 2015. We really have never left and have since completed 4 schools in the country, as well as 20 wells, completing 2 more this year that were not included in that video that you saw. To tell you a little bit more about our work in Burkina Faso and to really highlight our clean water program, I'm happy to introduce our program manager in Burkina Faso, Martin Nancia. I've had the distinct pleasure of knowing Martin since 2014 when he first acted as an interpreter for our group I was traveling with in country. Able to speak over 5 languages and recently completing his master's in project management, the Sonder Project is glad to have Martin representing us on the ground in Burkina Faso. And he has personally overseen every project that we have undertaken in the country. Before I share our video of Martin, though, I want to take a moment to acknowledge that tonight is a fundraising event. Many of you have already contributed through your registration and through our giveaway, and for that, we all thank you. Still, our original goal from tonight's effort was $15,000, and we remain over $10,000 short. If you haven't donated already and you are able to give, as you continue to watch this show, I hope you will feel inspired to give. And if you've already given, to perhaps even give again. When you do, all you need to do is text the word Sonder to 44321 as noted in the chat window. 100% of your donation will go directly to supporting our efforts in our project countries. And I'm happy to share that one of our board members has stepped up and said that if we can raise $5,000 tonight, then he will match that $5,000. So please help us to make that $5,000 $10,000. If you feel inspired, text Sonder to 44321. And without further ado, I present to you our project manager in Burkina Faso, Mr. Martin Nancia.
Newotongwende. That means hello in Mori, a local language here in Burkina Faso. And as Chad stated, my name is Martin Nancia, and I'm the Sonder project manager here in Burkina Faso. I first got involved with the Sonder project when the first Sonder project team visited Burkina Faso back in 2015. Since then, it has been amazing working for such an incredible NGO impacting people's lives. It's really incredible to see our impact firsthand, and I wish I could take you guys to the village to see our impact on the ground. But of course, I know this is not possible right now, but I would like to take a moment and share with you the impact of our clean water program. We drilled our first well in Burkina Faso in March 2015. And since then, we have put in 19 more wells impacting lives of over 39,000 people. That's amazing, right? But to better understand our impact, let me share with you the story of a woman. Her name is Aminata Ramde from the village of Kilu. She's 42 and has 4 amazing children, 3 girls and a boy. Aminata is a woman who used to spend more than 3 hours in an open well trying to collect water that was not good for health, water that was yellowish and salty. She even had to wake up very early in the morning, sometimes 3 or 4 a.m. in the morning, in order to be there early and avoid being late and lying in the queue for hours. She had to also use a container to which is attached a rope that she would throw into the well, and once it is full, she would pull it out step by step and then fill her buckets and jugs. You will bear with me how painful and time-consuming this process was. But thank God, in 2019, we've put a new closed well in her community. Since then, Aminata has been collecting water from that new source, and she no more spends more than an hour collecting water from that well. You can see how much time she's able to save in order to invest in other activities, to spend more time with her family, and to also assist her kids in the morning before they go to school. For every well that we put in, there are many women like Aminata. A few months after we put in a well, we usually go back and survey the women in order to assess the impact on how their life has changed. This is one of the favorite parts of my job, getting to hear the stories and to listen to the impact. This is how I first came to know Aminata. I'm really grateful sharing this story with you, and I do hope you consider making a donation that will give us strength and means to continue impacting people's lives, to continue impacting many more lives. And I'd like to say thank you so much for joining us tonight. But before I close, I would like, on behalf of the people of Burkina Faso, and also on behalf of all the community members, to say Barka, Barkusogo, meaning thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much, Martin. Wonderful to see you and hear you. We wanted to have him live, and actually he is on now live with us, but there have been a number of power outages in Burkina Faso these days because it is incredibly hot right now. And as a result, we were glad to have that recorded. Here's a trivia question for you. As Martin was talking about clean water and the lack of access, how many people around the world lack access to clean drinking water? Take a moment to answer that question, see what you think. And as you're thinking about that, in Burkina Faso alone, over 3 million people lack access to an improved water source. And even then, they may be few and far between. Our wells are intended to support at least 500 people, but the impact is often far greater as communities can be large and people will travel too far, to be quite honest, to find clean water. In our surveys that we've conducted, women on average before a Sonder well are spending close to 3 hours on average collecting water every day. After a Sonder well, it moves down to an hour. That's a significant amount of time saved. 2 hours every day. Imagine 2 hours of every day in your life back, especially in an environment where people do not have electricity on a regular basis. So the length of productivity in a day is shortened. We seek to place wells in communities where there's no other clean water source within a 30-minute walking radius, or where the current source is so overcrowded, leading to long lines and people resorting back to unclean water. So how many people around the world lack access to clean drinking water? Let's see the poll. Very good. Wow, I'm impressed. 880 million is in fact the correct answer. So give yourself a pat on the back if that's what you said. You can make a donation now by texting Sonder to 44321. Remember, all donations tonight will be matched up to $5,000. Help us lower that number. Now we'd like to talk a bit about our other project country, Malawi in Southeast Africa. The Sonder Project expanded to Malawi at the start of the year 2020 to meet another need and diversify our partner countries. Although we couldn't predict COVID when we first opened our programs there last year, the situation on the ground in Malawi, and Burkina Faso for that matter, has caused us to adjust some protocols, specifically the wearing of masks in the field, but we've been able to continue to do our work to empower communities. And fortunately, the situation in these countries up till now has continued to remain relatively low. Malawi, a former British colony, is often referred to as the warm heart of Africa, and anyone who's been there would know why. It's because of the friendliness of its people. With a population around 20 million, 75% Christian and 20% Muslim, it's a relatively small country. Over 80% of the population live in rural locations like the places that we work. With regards to education, which is what we would like to focus on as we talk about Malawi, the country's literacy rate falls around 62%. Primary school in the country is compulsory. However, that does not mean all students attend or stay. Students are still expected to pay school and exam fees to cover things like test papers, and they're also expected to wear uniforms and provide their own materials. These simple resources create barriers that put students behind before they even walk in through the door. Girls are particularly challenged because gender roles apply that put pressure on them to stay home, and attending school becomes even more difficult when menstruation begins and they do not have the supplies they need for sanitation. A girl student who no longer attends school is much more likely to be married off and have children early, cementing a cycle of poverty. It's for these reasons that we started the student sponsorship program just this year in Sonder Project schools in Malawi to help ensure vulnerable students have the resources they need to succeed. Over 70% of the students we've identified for the first year of the program are female. We're very excited about this program, and we are still seeking a few sponsors for our students. If you're interested in sponsoring a Sonder Project student, please visit the link that's in our chat, supportthesonderproject.org, sponsor student, and you can sponsor a student today. And we'll tell you individually, we'll send you information about your individual student that will be unique to you. Now, to tell you more about education and our programs in Malawi, I'm happy to introduce our project manager in Malawi, Belia Machembo. Belia was hired when we first opened our programs in 2020. She joins us with a bachelor's degree in irrigation engineering and a former administrator for another organization where she led programs specifically focused on empowering young women and girls. We also knew her well for years working as an interpreter with our friends at Build On. We are proud to have her representing us in Malawi and being a role model for all the young girls and women in the communities that we serve. It's my pleasure to introduce our program manager, Belia Machembo.
Hi, Mulibanje. That means, how are you in Chichewa, a local language in Malawi? As Chad said, my name is Belia Machembo, and I am the project manager for the Sonder Project. And I have been here since Sonder Project established its office at the start of the year 2020. Working with Sonder Project has been an amazing experience. I see this as a great opportunity being part of an amazing organization. So far, 2 schools have been constructed, supporting over 560 kids. And 3 wells were drilled, supporting over 2,000 people in the community. Schools in Malawi are overcrowded, and most of the times there's not enough space for the number of children to fit in those classrooms. And some do learn under a tree in a hot sun, and some learn in classrooms made of backdere. So that is why we are focusing on school construction and also the student sponsorship program to address these challenges. Education is what I want to focus tonight. Mainly the impact of the school construction program and also the new student sponsorship program. We build schools with our friends at Build On, and to build the school is a shared effort. The community is responsible to provide water, quarry stone, and also sand. The community is responsible to provide manual labor, and also the community provides the leadership committee that oversees the community's engagement. And once the school is complete, the building is the nicest building in the whole community, and it sends a message to the community, mainly the kids, that education is important. And after the building is complete, we see enrollment increase. Still more, there are some kids who fail to attend classes fully or who fail to concentrate in class because they don't have enough resources for them to stay in school. Tell you a story of Promise Zimba. Promise Zimba is one of the students who is really needy. Promise Zimba was raised by her mother because her father died when she was very young. And since then, the life has been an additional of the already existing challenges. And Promise Zimba wakes up early in the morning to go to the field to farm, just to find something to eat. And when she goes to class, she doesn't even attend or concentrate in classes because she's already tired. So Promise Zimba doesn't have enough resources for her to stay in school. She doesn't have a school, but doesn't have the notebooks for her to be able to attend the classes. So she's just an example of the so many kids whom I have met in the community who are lacking the necessary resources for them to stay in school. So your support to sponsor a student will help their dream come to pass. Your support to funding a school will create hope to future generations. So I just want to thank you so much for joining us tonight and for making that decision to do this. And on behalf of the people of Malawi and the community that I work with, I say thank you so much, which is Ziko Mukwambili in Chichewa. Thank you.
Thank you, Belia. We're so proud to have you representing us again on the ground in Malawi. And thank you for shining light on the challenges of for students to reach and seek access to education in Malawi. Do you know how many primary school age children are not in school around the world? And I'm not talking just specifically related to COVID now. Let's bring that poll question up. How many primary age students are not currently in school today as a result of war or poverty or whatever the case may be? As you think about that, in Malawi, 61% of children do not complete their primary education. That means finishing grade 6, and secondary school numbers or high school, or also known as high school, or even worse. Only 7% of students in Malawi complete high school, 7%. By building schools and sponsoring students, we're helping to build a foundation to further education in the country. I'm very proud of our sponsorship effort and the way we've worked with communities, and Belia has personally interviewed every student at their home to assess needs and make objective as possible decisions with the communities that we are supporting. So let's take that answer down and let's see what people think. How many students around the world are not in school? Let's see what the results are. In fact, the answer is 58 million. According to the World Bank, there are 58 million students who should be in school around the world who are not because of poverty or war or some other tragedy. And to be honest, it's 58 million too many. So now is the time. If you've already made a donation to support our work tonight or prior to this event, thank you. We appreciate your help to empower impoverished communities. If you haven't yet, please text Sonder to 44321 and make a donation. Every little bit helps, and we would be grateful for whatever you may be able to give. To put things in perspective, our wells are able to provide clean water for at least 500 people. Considering their current cost of $11,000 for a single well, $22 will help increase access to clean water for one person. With regards to education, it costs us $225 to sponsor a student for a year. Or we can build a school for $30,000, which will support at least 1,500 students over a 10-year period, which is truly a conservative estimate, to be honest, which works out to $20 to increase access to education. Text Sonder to 44321 now to make that gift. So we have one more video to share before we announce the winners on the Discover the Impact giveaway. Please stay tuned. First, we want to give you a chance to hear what other people connected to the Sonder Project have to say. You'll hear from our board members. You'll hear from our supporters. You'll hear from people in our countries who we've worked with who are beneficiaries of our work. And they will tell you what the Sonder Project means to them and why you should get involved. A huge shout out to 2030 North Studios for putting this next video together for us.
My name is Emily, and I have been a volunteer with the Sonder Project since their founding.
My name is Rose McCurgan, and my relationship to the Sonder Project is just as a citizen who is living in Navarre Beach area and participating and hanging out in Santa Rosa Beach and on 30A. And I came across the Sonder Project on social media as I was getting involved in that community.
My name is Geoffrey Genti. I am one of the teachers here at the Kaskiti Primary School.
Mam laram de seidu. Ane sullo tor sobla mam. Mam get sullo pompa yel.
Tinaranga andi ni mesi. Yogera mudimaga uzegara. Mapuzi abasukuru yagasidi. Ni standard 8.
My name is Trisha Sievers, and I've been a volunteer for the Sonder Project for about 6 years, helping with various fundraisers, different initiatives that we've had in the past. And I am a financial donor, donating 1% of my yearly salary to Sonder Project.
Hi, my name is Annie Kirkland, and my relationship to the project is friend of the project and also a monthly donor.
Merci. Sinon, moi, c'est M. Huguari Daogo Mathurin, directeur général de Société La Solution SRL. Donc, je suis l'un des partenaires de l'ONG de Sonder Project et nous réalisons des forages avec l'ONG.
Je me nomme Pascal Léonard Sampébré. Je suis le maire de la commune rurale de Kokolo.
The Sonder Project impacted my life mostly because I feel like everyone has a story, and I didn't know the word Sonder before, the Sonder Project existed, and after learning its meaning, it's really changed things for me. I think about that like literally, I would say every day. every time I meet somebody or I see something on TV or whatever it may be, the first thing I think of is that everybody has a story.
It means so many things, but I think when you really start to think about it, at the core of what it means is opportunity. And it's opportunity for everybody that's involved, the people that volunteer and the people that donate and the people in these villages that are being helped so much by what's happening. All of those people experience some level of incredible opportunity from what Sonder has to offer.
What the Sonder Project means to me is family and families. This is a family that's accepted somebody even like me. A big bearded, outdoor, crazy tree swinging climber who goes weeks without bathing as he walks across the United States. Even I was accepted into this family. And by being accepted into this family, we've got to help other families.
Absolutely.
And it's a family of people that have other people's interests at heart, that truly give with no expectation of return.
Right.
They're doing it just because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, the Sonder Project means a whole slew of things, but mostly it means how to undertake high-impact projects tailored to community needs that will last for generations. The Sonder Project means bridging the gap between supporters, whether that's in the form of fiscal donations, time, or other means, and our fellow human beings on the other side of the world. The Sonder Project is what makes something nearly impossible for a community possible.
It's just so important to be able to see outside of just our community or just our country, that we are the United States, we are part of an example to the world. And I feel that the Sonder Project really embodies that.
And I've been lucky enough to be able to involve my daughters in many of the things that we do at Sonder. They're also incredibly proud of the organization as a whole. They get very excited to take part in fundraisers and in events. And it's a genuine opportunity for them to start at a very young age, to open their eyes to what the world really is, and more importantly to me, what it can be.
Sonder Project imathandauza kuti ndi bungwe limene limathandiza zinthu zosiyana-siyana monga kumanga sukulu buloko, komanso kuyika madzi, komanso ndi kuthandizana ovutikitsitsa mderamo.
Velma amte lam tekle jindem parce que ko man non to ndana ma da ko ma usi la ton ha in tien sul lo pokute kan sing ti wa ma ton son la tek velma aba wa mtu bibliothèque te fo kabe kizam ton na pam ko ma ci pam dame
ala rimangira ma blogo to present yanywani ali basasima desigi anywani
zotsatira zake za kubwera kwa blogo imeneyi kwapangisonena kuti ana asamalephera kubwera ku sukulu ngati imene zinalili poyamba, fana amalephera kubwera ku sukulu kamba kuona kuti amanyowa amaphunzira pa mtengo pachisakasa, koma pano ana akubwera molimbikira kwambiri fo zoti tikapita ku sukulu sitikanyowa tikakhala chimodzimodzi.
I can describe the Sonder Project in so many ways.
To be passionate, involving, and empowering.
Say compassionate, and I think that is just how the Sonder Project leads, with compassion first, always.
Compassion, humanity, and selflessness.
Necessary, compassionate, and engaged.
Equalizing, uplifting, and realistic.
If I could describe the Sonder Project in 3 words, I would say community-based, data-driven, and from the heart.
High-impact philanthropy.
It would be love, compassion, and necessity.
Le Sonder Project est un salut pour l'humanité. Et deuxièmement, je pourrais dire que c'est la lumière vraiment que que l'humanité a besoin. Troisièmement, je pourrais dire que c'est le développement que l'humanité a besoin.
This organization also works transparently.
Le Sonder Project est une ONG qui agit d'une manière participative, c'est-à-dire même pas le projet comme ça pour la population, mais on implique la population. C'est ce qui me réjouit de leur façon d'approcher l'initiative de pouvoir mener à bien le projet. J'apprécie la manière dont l'ONG arrive à investir dans nos communautés.
There are so many worthy causes and so many organizations out in the world doing really incredible and aspirational things. And I would certainly encourage people to get involved in anything that speaks to their hearts that they can find. But when it comes specifically to Sonder Project, what I would say is take a moment to really dig and think about the things that are important to you, the things that you value in your everyday life that you forget about every single day. Clean water without having to walk for miles, a good school for your children to go to, the education that you received, and think about the way that those have impacted your life, because those are really, really huge tools that we often take advantage of. And Sonder gives us all the opportunity to take those really basic needs and make sure that many, many more people have access to them than they would have before.
I think it's great for new people to get involved with the Sonder Project. And I think some of the reasons that they should is because the project is servicing communities that I think are, in need. And the services that are being provided are ones that are ongoing, that'll provide, ongoing services such as water, education. The Sonder Project also collaborates with some great partners. And I think that creates a sustainable, methodology for giving that is really important in today's world and will continue to be for the future.
If you have it in your heart to help other people, then, we're a great organization for that. And as I said earlier, we're trying to do the most good possible with high impact sustainable development, meaning that we are trying to take our dollars and impact the most lives in a positive way. So I don't see any downside.
I would encourage anybody new to get involved, because I feel like once you feel like you're a part of something bigger than yourself, bigger than your life and the little world that you're living in, and you see outside of your bubble and your comfort zone, you really open your eyes up to so much more that's going on in the world, and to feel like you're a part of that and making a difference. I think it's life-changing. So I would encourage anybody to get involved, because you won't understand that feeling of giving and impact that you're making until you've done it.
If you have a chance to be a part of something bigger than yourself, you should step up and do it.
Kazamaliza siku nimefuna nzakae mpuzisi.
To take a moment. Thank you, 2030 North Studios, for putting that video together for us. And a huge shout out to all the faces and people who participated and shared so openly from the heart about their experiences. If you haven't already made a donation, please text Sonder to 44321 to help us continue to empower communities through high impact sustainable development. And now it's time to announce the winners of the Discover the Impact giveaway. I will not let that suspense go any further. The first prize that we'll be giving away is a coffee and end table, which were handcrafted out of local juniper and maple wood by our good friend Kurt Fordenreich. Everything is done by hand, custom made. He is the man on a mission and founder of Walking for Wells, hiked the Continental Divide Trail to fund a well for the Sonder Project, or with the Sonder Project. And the winner of that end table is Deborah Essling from Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. Congratulations, Deborah. And let's see, the second prize is an inflatable paddleboard donated by our good friends at YOLO, one of our founding partner organizations that has been a great friend of the Sonder Project since the very beginning. And the winner of the YOLO inflatable paddleboard is Frank Levi from New Orleans, Louisiana. Congratulations, Frank. Have fun with that. And the third prize that we'll be giving away, a 3-night stay for 2 in Rosemary Beach, courtesy of 360 Blue, where you'll have access to their top luxury concierge service and a bottle of champagne waiting for you. The winner of the 3-night stay for 2 to Rosemary Beach is Libby Curry from Cummings, Georgia. Congratulations to all our winners, Deborah, Frank, and Libby. We will be in touch so you can claim your prizes. And thank you so much to everyone else who participated in our giveaway or who donated. We appreciate your support. We appreciate your help. And thank you so much to everyone who joined us tonight for this Discover the Impact event. We greatly respect and appreciate the time you spent with us. And we know that if you have questions or if you would like to know more about what we do, then please reach out. Email us, info@thesonderproject.org. You can reach me directly at chad@thesonderproject.org, and we will be happy to get back to you. If you have ideas of how you would like to get involved, then we would love to hear them. Now, to help close out the event, we have one more performance by our good friend and musician, Aruna Diara. Originally from Burkina Faso, Aruna now lives in Phoenix, Arizona, and travels the world bringing the sound of Burkina with him. He plays multiple instruments, including the ngoni, a West African instrument that he custom makes himself here in the United States. We are fortunate to have him perform for us tonight, and we hope you enjoy this final performance. Again, you can make a donation to text Sonder 44321. I've been checking our feed, and I've seen a number of donations come in. It looks like we've reached at least over $2,000, I believe, from tonight alone. That's some rough math. Help us reach that $5,000. Again, one of our board members said he will match up to $5,000. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. Please enjoy this final performance from our friend Aruna Diara.
Woo woo! Thank you for the support and joining us tonight, and close this beautiful evening with the Sonder Project, who's doing a wonderful job in my country, providing water and education. So this is my appreciation to you for being here tonight. Thank you for your support. So the next song I'm going to play is called Bamanaya, and Bamanaya means tradition keeper. This is also called the Ngoni, Ngoni, and it's like a banjo. You know, you can also call a West African harp, 12 5-note pentatonic. So thank you for being here. Aniche.
Bye.
And don't forget to join the Sonder Project page and Facebook or on Instagram. Go and like their page and support what they are doing, because they are doing amazing work for the world. Thank you.